Welcome in, friends. Thank you all for joining me for this edition of Coffee and Conversation. It is my pleasure to introduce to some and welcome back to others our good friend in these YouTube streets, Miss Sandra James. Sandra, how are you, friend?
I am doing well, and thank you so much for inviting me. I'm looking forward to this moment, and happy Saturday.
It is my esteemed pleasure. This has been an interview that I have been wanting to do for pretty much ever since I encountered you. And at this moment, I just don't even know what it's like in the YouTube streets not to have interactions with Sandra James living it. And so thank you for allowing me this opportunity to connect with you and have a deeper conversation about your journey.
Thank you.
Well, you look like $1,000,000. I wish you would have told me we were dressing up. You look fabulous, friend. And but just make yourself right at home. We're right here in my kitchen. And if I know you, you are in one of your content creation spots and one of my
Yeah.
favorite spots. And that
Yeah.
is one of the things I noticed about you right away is how you are so intentional about a lot of things.
Yes. This is my YouTube studio, my work office, my craft space, everything. This is my all-purpose room.
Well, it feels like
Yeah.
home, and I love to see you in that environment. It is so, the color scheme is so warm and inviting. And I see that you have Lazy Daisy right there on your lapel. Tell us who Lazy Daisy is, Sandra James.
So Lazy Daisy is my stoma, and a lot of cancer survivors and Crohn's survivors, or people still living with Crohn's that have stomas. We like to name our stomas because it helps us to connect to, our new reality. I don't like to say new normal, but a new reality. And so we name our stomas. And for me, I thought my stoma should have a face. So this is Lazy Daisy. And she's called Lazy Daisy because when they were creating her, there was some complications, and they were calling my bowels lazy. So because she's blooming now, I call her Lazy Daisy.
So, Lazy Daisy, it is. And tell us, if you would, please, would you tell us a cancer diagnosis is a lot to absorb
Absolutely.
at any age. But would you tell us what that felt like for you when you found out that you had colorectal cancer?
It was absolute confusion for me. I was appalled. I was ashamed because I couldn't understand how I was being diagnosed with such a thing when I felt pretty healthy. Everything was good. And all I really had was hemorrhoids. And so, because when I got that first symptom, I thought it was hemorrhoids, but it was very devastating. But at the same time, I was trying to tell myself, you have to stay focused and not spiral out, So
Mhm.
very devastating and confusing is what it felt like.
Okay. Well, I want to bring some of our viewers to the forefront and let's say hello to them, starting with Jackie McKeever, someone that we both know in these YouTube streams. Thank you all for being here. Let me get us yeah, there we go. There we
Yeah.
go. That's much better for us both so we can see who's here joining us for this edition of Coffee and Conversations with Sandra James. Y'all, she is a colorectal cancer survivor, but more importantly, she is a thriver. She is thriving at this moment. And we're starting this interview with just learning more about what colorectal cancer is and that diagnosis. And would you walk us through, in your own words, Sandra, would you walk us through what the different procedures were, what the course of treatment was, and how that ended up with you being married now, not just to your husband, but also to Lazy Daisy?
Absolutely. So with the colorectal cancer, colorectal is the umbrella term for different types of cancers, which is basically the colon cancer and specifically for me, rectal cancer. So very low in the bottom of the intestines, large intestines, you know, you have your rectum. So that's where my tumor was. And so the treatment entailed radiation, which was to shrink the tumor and then have the other the chemotherapy. So to further shrink it and get it to the smallest amount, or hopefully for it to disappear, which it didn't, but what was left needed to be removed. But in order to remove it, they had to shrink it. And then it ended up being the removal of the rectum, sigmoid colon, and having the anus sewn shut from the inside. And that was the only way to get the tumor out. So the treatment was very intensive, though short. Only had 4 chemo sessions, and the radiation was 25 sessions, 5 days a week. So very intense, very, I would say, invasion of the mental space, because it was mentally traumatizing, you know, just doing the treatment alone. And also with that chemotherapy, I was taking chemo in pill form. So that's even more medication going into the body, which, you know, cause a lot of side effects and fatigue and diarrhea, all sorts of anything that a person could have in the digestive system that's painful and unwelcoming. I had to go through that. And then the surgery. And the surgery turned out to be 2 surgeries, because the first surgery didn't go well. I ended up with a bowel obstruction, and that's also how Lazy Daisy got her name, because my small intestine had wrapped itself around the colostomy on the inside, so that was blocking the movement of the bowel. So I had to go back in, have the surgery corrected, you know, have the bowels re-corrected and connected, so that I could have normal bowel movements. And so very intensive, 3 weeks of hospitalization, and the TPN, which is the nutrition bag, because absolutely no food was being ingested outside of that at that time.
So the TPN is like a feeding tube.
Yes. Yes. And it's going, you know, through the PICC line. So I had to have a PICC line in my arm. And that's how I ate for, I'm going to say 6 to 8 weeks. It was about, because I also had the TPN after they finally let me go home. So I had to do TPN at home as well.
And Sandra, I'm just learning in the past week from binge watching your content and just trying to learn more about your story. And you are an amazing human. And it is my pleasure to know you virtually in the YouTube streets. It is my sincere pleasure to know you and to interact with you and to learn from you. You just celebrated 1 year with your ostomy. And we have a
Yes.
question already coming in from the chat. This one from Vicky's World of Chaos. I see a channel name change, a little tweak
Oh.
there on your channel, Vicky's World of Chaos. I like. We like that. Is your ostomy, colostomy, permanent? And I said ostomy because I know you use that word a lot.
Hmm.
So would
Hmm.
you answer this question for us and tell us the difference between the terms ostomy and colostomy?
Okay, so yes, my colostomy is permanent. And the difference is ostomy is the term that we use to identify the colostomy and the ileostomy. And in some cases, urostomy, which is for the urine. Some people have the bags for the urine, which is a totally different segment of ostomy. So ostomy is the umbrella again, like colorectal is the umbrella. So we say ostomy to include everyone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And speaking of when you said urine, that makes me think of the head coach in the head coach in the University of Colorado. Y'all help me
I
out.
know with the memory, right?
It's 50. It's 50. I am 50, and doesn't Sandra James look great as a woman of a particular age herself? You
Mhm.
look gorgeous. You are
Thank
glowing.
you.
You look so beautiful, and I love your outfit choice. What is his name? Friends, y'all drop that in the
I
chat if
do
you
not
know
know.
that coach. But anyway, he talked about his own bladder cancer. You
Mm,
know that he lost a toe or two, and the professional football player turned Sanders, Deion Sanders.
Sanders.
I thank you, Lord,
Mm,
for helping me, Deion Sanders. But he talked recently, just disclosed his bladder cancer, and so I think that might be where he might be having now. That's probably, and you said with dealing with the urine would be
urostomy. Hmm.
urostomy, and so again, this is part of all of our life and body functions. It can happen to anyone, men and women. And but you were just celebrating 1 year with your ostomy. And so when was your cancer diagnosis? And where are you at this moment in as a survivor of colorectal cancer?
So I was diagnosed 2024, I think around June 2024, because I went on leave July 15th. So that's when, so I was diagnosed in June. And I had a rapid diagnosis because, which allowed me to be stage 2 rectal cancer opposed to 3 or 4 because just one mention in a picture that I brought to the uh, urgent care. I had a picture of a blood clot. I'm sorry, I had to say that word, but
Yeah,
I had a picture and I went to the urgent care with that picture. So they were able to get me processed pretty quickly.
yeah.
But June 2024. Mhm.
Yeah. So when that happened, yeah, I remember that video now. And so I encourage anyone, if you are having digestive issues and your symptoms are profound, right? You talked about the bright red intensity of that clot that you had passed, and it scared you. Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, and you immediately went on to the emergency room, y'all. So don't delay. Let Sandra James let her story and her testimony for how she is not just living, y'all. She is a survivor and she is thriving. Deion Sanders dealing with bladder cancer, a similar and under the umbrella of ostomies, and
Hmm.
folks, you can survive, you can live, and in fact, you can be just like our own Sandra James. You can thrive. You can thrive. And thank you to Lala for sharing that information about the University of Colorado football coach Coach Prime Sanders, who was diagnosed with a very aggressive high risk bladder cancer in 2025, and now has been declared cancer free. And he continues to serve as head coach of the University of Colorado. And y'all, that is one of our Power 10 schools in the nation,
Mhm.
especially for D1 football. I like a little D1 football myself. And G2 Country Girl, thank you for being courageous in this moment and sharing that a doctor cut off half of your colon by mistake. Wow. Wow.
Whoa.
Thank you for sharing that. Share more about that with us. Let's take a look. I want to get some more viewers' comments up on the screen, and I want you to give us a little bit of time, and let's just walk a little bit through. This is what you're going to see when you pop over and you visit Sandra James' YouTube channel. It's called Living It with Sandra James, real life, real talk. And I love that last segment there, real healing. And
Mhm.
that's what's drawn me into your channel, because you talk about it starting with supporting those who have a similar struggle as you, um, under the umbrella of ostomies. And what are your basic needs, making sure those basic physical needs are taken care of, but also the mental, the spiritual, just
Yeah, absolutely.
overall wellness beyond the treatments, beyond being deemed cancer free, beyond being able to make those changes as required to your ostomy bag. But what is left of the person, and how do you heal that part of yourself after going through these? What do you call them, traumas?
Sometimes, sometimes experience, sometimes trauma, depending on what part of the process I was in or that I want to talk about at
Mm-hmm.
that time. But living with it and living it is about community. So connecting with other people, people that have ostomies, and connecting with other people who don't, just being able to engage in life and still do the same things that you did before, but better. So that includes, how you move about the earth, right? So you're not just in the house with the colostomy bag in the recliner, just laying around in woe because of the bag, but you're swimming, you're going to the park, you're going dancing. I love to go dancing, and you're living. You have an opportunity to live after surviving it. So now it's time to thrive and move forward, having a career, raising children, or, parenting children in some way, and just enjoying your life even more so, because it's more important to you now. You really see how much of life that you can take for granted, so it's about moving on after that, but always acknowledging that it's there and that it needs to be taken care of in order to continue to thrive.
I love that. Let's focus on thriving at this moment and how you thrive and show up in this world. You have so many intersections as a Black woman. You're a beautiful Black woman, and you remind me in many ways of my own mother. And but you're quite younger than her, I must tell you that. And a beautiful smile. I'm a sucker for anyone that has a gorgeous smile, because I tend to think that that's one of my best traits is my smile. But you show up as a wife. You are
Yes,
a mother. You
yes.
are a sister. And you are, tell us about your profession. You are such a giving person, which makes perfect sense for your given profession.
Yeah. So professionally, I have a master's degree in social work, and currently I'm working in a position that they call reauthorization clinician. And a reauthorization clinician is the person who writes and advocates on behalf of people who, men and women, who are in substance abuse treatment. So I'm the person that goes to the funding agency and tells them why this person needs 30 more days of treatment, 30 more days of treatment because of whatever the barriers are to their treatment process, how
Mhm.
long they've been in treatment, and how long they've been in substance use. And 30 days of treatment is just not enough. And so every time I write a reauth and it gets approved, that awards them 30 more days to work on themselves. So that's what I do at this very moment. I do it remotely. And prior to that, I worked directly with incarcerated men, providing mental health services for them. And my version of mental health is giving them the experience, my life experience, opposed to so much. There's book and curriculum involved in that, but more so the life experiences of it, and not so much. I give them workbook, but I also give them outside of the facility experiences so that they can come in contact with the things that are barriers to them, and the things that are making them have anxiety because they're afraid, you know.
Mhm.
So I took them out and we walked it out in the street.
So tell us a little bit about that. What kind of, that was part of your therapeutic processes with your clients,
Yeah.
incarcerated men, and you still do, you're still in that working with your clients are still having gone through the system or a part of the system, and you are trying to provide the necessary resources to ensure that I think the term is recidivism. And
Is exactly. Yeah,
mhm,
well,
mhm,
with the men now, I'm not in physical direct contact with them anymore because I chose remote. So
mhm.
remote says, okay, well then you can write on their behalf. And
Yeah,
so I'm advocating behind the scenes now.
you
But
are
it was an
advocating
excellent.
behind the scenes. You are
Yes,
advocating on their behalf. And that's the
yes.
point. You are still all about helping and supporting each other. And it's helping me to understand more about the woman behind this beautiful smile, and how she shows up, not just for those in the YouTube community and in the YouTube streets, but how you show up for humanity.
Absolutely. It's about, you know, helping others, serving others. You know, you can't just serve yourself because you're not on the earth by yourself. So, you know, it's reciprocal, you know.
Mhm,
So we
mhm.
give and take. Mhm.
So let's go back. I want folks to really lean into your content as a YouTuber because, again, I think this is an extension of who and what you are, Sandra James. You are so precious to me, and I call you sister friend because of that. And I want so many others to connect with you. So, friends, you should see the link pinned to the top of the chat. Moderators, thank you to Lala the High Vibe Coach. Thank you to Gemini Diva 79. I appreciate everyone who is helping to moderate this stream. And would you all please let me know if you do not see that link pinned to the top of the chat? Would you share with us? I'm going to put your website up and another point of your website. And I want you to talk about some of your playlists so that folks can get a feel for the kind of content that you put out on your YouTube channel. Would you do
So in these playlists, I have several different things. In some playlists, there I talk about the side effects and what to look out for so that you'll know, that there's an issue. So side effects of colorectal cancer, not side effects, but the symptoms that would lead you to urgent care or lead you to the emergency. So I talk about those. I talk about my experiences with living with the colostomy bag, how to change the bag, how to do a partial bag change opposed to a full bag change. Because with our appliances, we are allowed it through our insurance a certain amount of bags per month and a certain amount of flanges per month or wafers. Some ostomates use one piece, some use two pieces, and in my case, two pieces. So I talk a lot about um, maintaining the flange or the wafer, and how, when you've had output and it's time to make a change, that you can either do a partial or you could do a whole thing, a whole bag change. So I talk about those type of things, how to care for your stoma, how to keep it clean, um, how to wear your ostomy if you want to be in public with your ostomy without covering it up or hiding it, how you can accentuate it with bag covers, colorful bag covers, and the like, or how to dress. People believe that because you have an ostomy, you can't dress a certain way. You have to wear baggy clothes. And I show where you don't have to wear baggy clothes if you don't want to. You can wear a bathing suit. You can go swimming. So on this channel, I have different videos that show these different sides of how I'm living with the ostomy, and what to do if you feel like you have a blockage. You know, say you want to go swimming or whatever, or you want to go have fun. I have a video on there where I met with other ostomates from all over the world at a conference that the United Ostomy Association of America holds every 2 years. And, just going out and living and having fun. I share personal moments where I'm writing about what my journey feels like. So I recently did a video where I'm crocheting, which gives me peace and therapy, to help me when I'm feeling not so well, or I just need to relax and I just want to do something that I love. So just different segments of information and experience of living after cancer and with the permanent colostomy. So I talk about some of the products that I use. The deodorizing lubricant is a really big deal for me, and making sure that the output that's coming into my bag goes down to the bottom, opposed to, sitting up on top of my lazy daisy and making it uncomfortable for me. So I talk about several different things. And even in the live sessions, I talk about, I just recently talked with a host of people about dealing with different challenges that come through our life, like stress. And so I share everything. And it's not just for ostomates only, it's for everyone. Absolutely everyone.
And I'm a woman of a particular age, as I like to say, as you know, Sandra, and that is the part of your story. First of all, you have an amazing testimony as a woman of faith, and that I was drawn to that. But then just how you are not just living as a cancer survivor, but I truly believe and know that you are thriving. Look at the work that you continue to do to support others through your social work and your advocacy as your career, a highly educated woman that you are. And then it's the things like talking about how to manage stress and how we move forward when we face adversities in life, in our careers, in our health, and in our families. Those are the aspects. Just as a woman, just celebrating women being women, and what happens to me in life beyond 50. That is what I am leaning into, to those aspects of your channel. You've got a great channel and everyone knows it. I'm so glad that everyone knows it. We want to thank everyone who is dropping into the comments at this moment. And we need to shout out one special member and on my channel, and it's G2 Country Girl. Thank you for being a member of Kendi K's crew for 6 months. Thank you, sister friend. And we are now learning that G2 Country Girl has is no stranger to this as well, to this topic of looking at under the umbrella. I'm trying to learn the nomenclature of ostomies and dealing with some of those digestive issues. And digestion is a part, one of our major body functions. And so without it, we cannot sustain life. And so I'm so glad that you are here with us, and you are thriving in this moment. And thank you again for allowing me the pleasure of this interview. Tell us a little bit more about your crafting and how you've been able to take your crafting and cultivate that into a business.
Crafting has been a big deal in my life since I was a kid. You know, when your mom don't let you go nowhere and you have to can't go no further than the porch. So when I was about 12, I learned how to crochet, but I didn't, as I started moving into life, I didn't stay with the crocheting. But during the radiation treatment, I picked it back up, and thank God for YouTube, because that's where I learned a lot of the different stitches that I use now. And so I love to crochet. It was a great comfort, and it still is a great comfort um, in my journey and in my life now. But candle making and soap making, I always thought about having something that I could create and call it my own, opposed to working for a company or um, where they make candles and make soap. I wanted to make my own. And so I started learning how to make soap, and I use what they call melt and pour soap opposed to cold processed soap. I did try cold processed soap, but it's too much of waiting time for people to get the product. So, and then the candle making became the love of my life. And I have my own formulas, and I never speak negative about any other brand of candles. But my brand is special because I use what I call special wax, a very sustaining wax that sustains fragrance. So that's my thing. And during the times when I need therapy and I need peace and I need quiet and I need productivity and creativity all at the same time, that's what I do. And I like to share it with others in the world. But I love crafting. I embroidery too. There was a time I was homeless, and I had a pair of 501s. Everybody know about the 501 jeans,
501
right?
jeans.
I
They were too
still have
little
them.
for me. I could never get into them.
I have them, and I have embroidered words of encouragement and empowerment to get me from homelessness and out of living in my car to back to living fully. And so I embroidered on those jeans, and I still wear those jeans today. So yeah, crafting has so many different benefits to a person's individual life. And then when you can incorporate that into your life and then disperse it to the world, it's a beautiful thing. And so that's what I'm about.
Indeed, it is. When I say your testimony is going to set so many free and get folks
Yes.
on a better mindset. And thank you for sharing your story with the world, and thank you for being you in these YouTube streets at this moment. If you look over my shoulder, and I had to share a beautiful gift that you just bestowed upon me, for just because I know now that that is who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And you shared your Grace and Glow candle collection with me. And it's not just candles, it's fragrance scents. It is the washcloths and the hand poured soaps. Wow, that you, when was the premiere? Was that just this week where you showed us kind of your process of how you create these hand poured, highly fragranced soaps?
Well, that one was the shower puff that I did, but the you got the small bar in the washcloth. Uh, so I just put that together, and because some people don't want to do the body wash type
Yeah,
thing, they want to use bar soap. I'm a bar soap person, so I made the washcloths to go with it. They're 100% cotton, and they're really nice. And so
they're beautiful.
yeah.
They're beautiful. Y'all,
Yeah.
let's with intention, let's give Sandra James a moment to catch her breath. And I am going to move this visual really large. And if you would, Jackie McKeever says yes. And y'all, if you would, please point your cell phone, your device towards this QR code, or hit the link that is pinned to the top of the description of the chat, and go ahead and let's click on over to Grace and Glow, to Sandra's Shopify site for her store. And y'all, let's push traffic over there. Just pop on over and take a minute or so, and we'll be right here when you get back here, and drop in the chat and let us know that you are back. So just type in the chat, put back once you pop over. We are being intentional, because that is one thing that Sandra James, she believes in being intentional. And friends, I am going to read while Sandra just takes a moment. Y'all, y'all, we've already been talking for quite a little while, so I'm gonna give her a moment to catch her breath, and I'm gonna read from her Grace and Glow candle collection. And she calls her business Grace and Glow. And she talks about her candles. She's named each one and developed scents accordingly. Courage. That is her saffron cedarwood candle. It's a rich blend of spice, woods, strong, assertive, and grounding, with notes of citrus, cardamom, saffron, violet, wood, smoke, sandalwood, and amber. Y'all, she has she has crocheted these 100% washcloths. She's crocheted them, and then has hand soaps with just beautifully done, with such, as she calls it, intention.
Mm-hmm.
And it really shows in her work. And I'm all into that at 50. I don't know, y'all, I probably have been like that all my life. I have, but I love supporting small business. And so if you are like me, y'all, pop on over. Let's be intentional, at least to push traffic and let her know that we care for her. And I already saw this, y'all. If you scroll all the way down, you can pop in your email address and be a part of her email listing. So y'all, let's support small business on today as we lift up our sister friend, Sandra James. Y'all, she is living thriving, and we are so proud of you, my friend. We've got new friends joining us. We want to welcome in Mahogany Allure. We also want to welcome in Anisha Antoinette as well. Look at all of these folks coming to join us for coffee and conversation. And speaking of which, Kitty K has not even had time for coffee, but I am hydrating with electrolytes. And I saw you sipping on something. What are you hydrating with for coffee and conversations?
So I'm having water. I always have my little smart water bottles, but inside here is vitamin B1 and liquid and magnesium liquid because I'm trying to find out if I can get some relief from neuropathy with taking the magnesium and the vitamin B1. So that's what I'm hydrating with right now. But later I will be hydrating with the Ultima, which is the electrolytes that I infuse my water with all the time. And well, once a day, every day. And I'm drinking 5 to 6, sometimes 8 bottles of water every single day because hydration is extra important for my digestive system and for my body because of the ostomy. And if I can say, with the Shopify site, it's still brand new and a lot of stuff is not up there yet, you guys. Okay.
We
So
we
yes.
we hear you. We hear you, and that's why we're going to go scroll all the way down to the bottom. You can get a quick preview of some of her products. Let me put them up here for a moment. We want to welcome in a new member, Poetic Tears. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you for being here with us for this great interview with Sandra James, Living It. Y'all, she's a small business owner and it's a work in progress. And y'all, so drop down to the bottom of that and make sure that you leave your email address so that she can connect with us for when she does new updates and puts more of her products out. And y'all, I am at this moment, I am still burning the white peach. It is on my candle warmer at this moment. And y'all, can I tell you that I have it in my kitchen on my kitchen candle warmer. And y'all, it just goes all the way to the front door in the great room. I mean, it's so calming. It is so calming. Some of your other candle scents, Resilience. It's a Caribbean teakwood scent. Freedom, Amber Noir, with notes of plum, citrus, amber, jasmine, amorous, and dark musk. And this one, Strength. It's a bergamot. A refreshing, clean, and energizing, perfect for clarity and forward motion, with notes of lemon, tangerine, sweet anise, forest, and pine trees. Which of these, Sandra, is your favorite scent?
Amber Noor. Amber
And
Noor. And
okay.
I'm melting it right now.
Wow.
All
So it is freeing for you. It is liberating
yes,
for you.
absolutely. Yes.
Yes. Question that I have, because I see you often, you kind of turned your ostomy bag, Lady Daisy's bag, into a fashion statement. And
Yes.
you often, I see you in pictures. We saw you with the UOAA conference, and I'll put that visual up in just a second. But friends, you will show your ostomy bag and tell us why that is, because now I know that I probably have saw others with their ostomy bag visible. And
Hmm.
um, is that necessary medically, or is that just part of you being transparent, or is that just, tell, if you don't mind, if
I
you can.
don't mind at all. So it's not necessary. So whoever has an ostomy or living with an ostomy, they can conceal it or show it. It's up to them. But I do it because the first thing that people usually think when they hear colostomy bag or ostomy bag, they think negatively, and they think about smell.
Mhm.
And I want to break the stigma of that. I want to normalize it and show people that I'm still a regular, everyday person that goes to the bathroom different from you. And so I show it. I wore a pair of jeans once last week, but I haven't worn jeans since I got my ostomy because I don't want to tuck it in. I don't want to wear it like a tucked in shirt. I want to wear it out so that I could be free, I could be comfortable, and people can get accustomed to seeing other people living out loud with their ostomy bag. So I wear it out. And I'm crop topping a lot now, even though I'm chunky around the sides, you know.
No,
Uh,
ma'am. No, ma'am.
I'm so-
I would be chunky, and you are in your 64th chapter,
yes, yes,
and
64.
you are thriving. Just turned 64
Yes.
this month or last month?
This month, March 4th. Hmm.
60, she calls it her 64th chapter, friends. And doesn't she wear it well? Yes.
Yeah, I have to wear it out.
Applause to Sandra James, y'all. She is
Thank you.
thriving. She is a
Yeah,
thriving. No, I am chunky, and you are thriving, sister friend. You are just
yeah,
a
you know.
beautiful soul inside and
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Jackie McKeever says your candles are amazing, and they ditto for me. They smell amazing. I don't want to go to a different scent because I just when I come in and I go out and come back into the house because I have it on a warmer, so it's not an open flame. I just do my candles on a warmer, and it just oh my gosh, it's just so calming, so calming.
Thank
So
you. I'm
thank
very
you.
intentional about
Thank you for the
that.
beautiful gift. And that is in some of your phrasing and your packaging is
Mhm.
hand poured with intention.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm living out loud. Yeah.
And please continue to elevate your voice. I am so happy to call you a content creator and a YouTuber, a member of Kendi K's Content Creator Collective. And we are, wow. Thank you for this collaboration, Sandra James. Thank
Mhm.
you for this opportunity. We want to thank Grants Faithful, GLP-1 Journey. Thank you for the beautiful gifts. Same to G2 Country Girl. And member for 4 months, Poetic Tears. Thank you for renewing your membership on this channel. Y'all, thank you to those who are joining us and commenting. And so many are also joining us. And y'all, you don't have to comment, but we thank you when you do because it helps the engagement on the channel. And thank you all for being here. And a very special thank you, Sandra James. What would you tell someone who will catch this on the replay after this live stream? What would you tell someone who is dealing with ostomies or who might be facing one?
Mhm. So I would tell you that you're not alone, and I am very intentional about connection. So when you reach out, I'm going to reach back. There's nothing to be ashamed of, but to be proud of, because we know that the ostomies allowed us to have life more fully than the thing that we suffered before getting the ostomy. So it's a blessing, and live your life to the fullest. And there's no reason to be ashamed. And if you are, come see me so we can work our way out of that. And let's get it. It's okay.
It
Let's
is
get it.
okay. And I
Mhm.
love to know that medical research has come so far that folks To have a colorectal cancer diagnosis does not mean that, that there's an end.
Mm,
It just means that we're going to take another route with your
yes.
digestive
Yeah.
system, and that folks are, like Sandra, are surviving, like Deion Sanders surviving. And look at Sandra, y'all. She is, in fact, thrive. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I love
Yeah.
for you. We
Yeah.
love your spirit in these YouTube streets. And something I want to share. Sandra contacted me a couple weeks ago, and we were just doing Shop Talk, which is a segment on my channel, and it's where creators support creators. We connect, collaborate as small and new content creators in these YouTube streets. Sandra's channel is young, and so is mine. And
Mhm.
y'all, so you can help Sandra's channel. Y'all, go ahead, look for the link at the top of your comments, and go ahead and click on over there, and go ahead and click subscribe, because I sure did. And I have not regretted one moment of this journey in knowing this beautiful person, Sandra James, living it. But we were having Shop Talk, and someone saw your channel slide during our channel parade. And they then reached out to you. They were able to connect over to your channel, and they shared that with you. Do you want to share a little bit about that, or do you want me to?
You could go right ahead.
Okay.
Go right
Well,
ahead.
Andrew has told me the story after the fact. Yes, someone saw her channel slide, and let me share our slide here today. I don't know if I shared that yet. Is Sandra James living it? She is our special guest today for coffee and conversations. And y'all, I pulled out all the stops today because when we have company coming through, we want to make them feel welcome. So I have our spring of flowers here, complete with daisies, in honor of Lazy Daisy, Sandra's ostomy. And friend, we also want to thank Sandra for just being you, and someone was able to see Sandra slide during one of our channel parades, and they are living with an ostomy and was facing some surgery and whatnot. And Sandra and that kind human, that person, that courageous person, connected with Sandra, and Sandra has been a support for that person. And it's not just that person. There are so many others who I've been in live streams with Sandra, where you are really helping folks who have just had their surgeries, and you talk about just really not knowing what to do. And these are the things you make videos, step by step how to's, and you literally show us. You talk about that deodorizer. Um, tell us the purpose of the deodorizer. Let's just give us the layman's terms for it, because I want folks to know that you're a resource to those who are survivors of colorectal cancer.
So the deodorizing lubricant, it goes inside the bag, and its purpose is to eliminate odor. Everybody knows that poop has an odor. So this deodorizing lubricant that I use eliminates, or at least takes it down to the bare minimum of odor. And it also, with the lubrication, it reduces this thing we call pancaking. And pancaking is when your output is sitting right on top of and outside of the stoma. So, but what we want is for the output to go to the bottom of the bag, go inside the bag and not sit on top. So with this deodorizing lubricant, which is called Revel Ostomy, it's in the bag. It makes the output go off of the stoma and down into the bag. And it comes in a couple different fragrances, eucalyptus, which is my favorite, and then there's lavender. And for those who don't want to have the scent but still want the benefit of the deodorizing lubricant, there's one called that's non-scented. And they also come in little travel tubes as well. So when you travel, you can always have it in your bag. And it is a really big deal for me. And it's what I call the game changer, because people don't know that they could be sitting in church, just say I came to visit your church and I'm sitting next to a church member. That church member will not know that I have an ostomy bag unless I have it out or I tell them. And most of the time when it's out, they think that it's a fanny pack anyway, or a purse pouch. So you never know who you're sitting next to or who you're in the grocery store in the line with. And women do not want to smell. So Revel helps with that tremendously.
And I will tell you, so essentially you're neutralizing Revel deodor lubricating.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a spray?
It's a liquid and it comes in a bottle form.
So it's essentially kind of like our poopery or odor neutralizing spray that ladies like to have in their purse or in their travel bags.
Yeah. And so it comes in this size bottle, and then I have these little tubes that I carry on my keychain and in my little backpack purse. Yes. And it's absolutely wonderful.
You have so many videos. So if you are living with an ostomy, y'all connect with Sandra James Living It. Let me just make sure that everyone can see her name. And y'all, the link is right there in the comments. And if you click on the description box and click on more, you can see a link to her small business, her candle business, and you also, Grace and Glow is the name of the candle business. You also have a link to get to her website, and we'll do an official YouTube collaboration after this live stream ends, because I want this to be a great introduction. But so many y'all, you're just like family now, Sandra, to us all. You're just an amazing human. You are an amazing human. And I wish you would have given me the dress code, because friend, she's coming up here with this pussy bow. And I think that's what they call the big bows at the neckline on ladies. You look all demure and whatnot. You look amazing. You look fabulous.
Thank you. Let me just tell you, I was like, I cannot go up here with Candy K without having on a decent blouse. If you guys see me, I'm in like tank tops all the time. So I went out and bought this yesterday. It's just so that I could,
Friend, I wish you would, honey. This is what I wore to the Sam's Club at 8:00 this morning. I had to get gas and had to pump it myself with one glove on, all of the things. And so I am still dressed like that in my Ayuga get up. Yes, but friend, you look amazing. And so that again, I pale in comparison. To the Sandra James. I love this for us, because you are in fact my sister friend, and we interact every day, it seems like. And
yes.
and it's just a beautiful and a wonderful thing. I'm putting back up the QR code so folks can click on over and connect with you. And we're pushing traffic there. And I want you then to hit her link and pin to the top of the comments so that you can connect with her channel. And don't forget to hit subscribe. And in case you didn't know, friends, it's a 10 out of 10. Candy K is highly recommending. And y'all know I don't play about that. Yeah, you're not gonna mess up my good name in these YouTube streets. I only give that 10 out of 10 designation when I believe in what you're doing. And I know that you've got good content that is meant to uplift and to teach and to reach someone. You're a woman of faith. You are a woman of faith, and it just shows in how you flow through these YouTube streets and how you flow through California. That's your community. That's where you call home. You are from California. You're just a light, Sandra.
Thank you.
Indeed, you are. Friends, if you have any questions for Sandra James Living It, if you have any questions about ostomies, if you have any questions about being a social worker, and you've given us, you've taken us down a new street for social work and how social work is an important component in criminal justice and in working with and supporting folks who might have a criminal history and their recovery and who are on the road to recovery. Thank you for your advocacy in our community. I appreciate that, and all of those who are tirelessly dedicated to that work. So many comments coming in. Let me put more of these up for us. We've got Marjorie, Sister for Real podcast. Thank you for joining us. We've got oh, thank you, Monique. Monique has dropped your link. And thank you for that, sister friend. And now I can, y'all, and she's got a little daisy there on it in the front. Yeah, it looks like that is still pinned. Thank you so much. So many things are coming in. Yeah, it's a little overwhelming for me, but it's all for you, Sandra James. It is all
Thank you.
because of who and what you are and how you show up. Friends, let's take a little moment and let me share this important announcement. If you would like to join me for coffee and a conversation, please use this QR code and reach out to me or check in the description box, and there will be a link there for you to access as well. Leave me your information and I will connect you. We are now booking for April for coffee and a conversation. And friends, I do vet you and you can be a YouTuber or not. I'm looking for good humans who are doing good things throughout this community, in their community, and throughout the world. And those are folks that I invite to interview. And if that's you, I want to hear more about your story. And if I like your vibe, then I'm going to connect with you and invite you to my kitchen for coffee and a conversation. And today, friends, we've got our good sister friend, Sandra James, and y'all, she's living it. And she is, in fact, she is thriving. So let's do some fun questions. How about that?
Okay.
On the lighter side, on the
Okay.
lighter side of things. Favorite color?
My favorite color used to be red, but it is absolutely pink. Not fuchsia pink, but subtle pink.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So like a what would they call that? So like this pink.
A little bit darker, but that pink, yes. Just a
Okay, so
tad bit
pink,
darker.
pink, pink,
Pink.
pink. My favorite color is red, and yellow is my signature color though. You know, I gotta be fancy.
Yes.
You know, I gotta be fancy with it. Um, what I know you like pets because you were formerly a pet mom. So tell us about your life as a pet mom.
Absolute pet mom. They call us dog moms. My dog, San, was a cockapoo and golden doodle mix. She'll be 3 years old, April 29th. But I allowed her to leave and go to live with her friend Keisha, and the person who provided care for her when I was going through the treatment and hospitalization. So I do not have her any longer. It's been maybe 6 weeks since she's been gone. I'm still grieving her, but I've had several other dogs before, but life and career wasn't allowing me, especially when I was single, to keep them, but I made sure that they had absolute better homes than the home that I was providing for them. But I absolutely love dogs. Love dogs. If they're too big, then I'm cautious of them, but I still love dogs. I'm a dog lover for sure.
I do too. I
Mhm.
have a preference for the pooches, and so I do too. And here is we're hearing from a living Living Full,
Living
My
fully.
Wellness Journey. And I'm familiar with this channel through you, Sandra
Yes.
James. And so y'all connect with these channels, particularly if this is something that you have survived and you have questions. And y'all, there's a growing community in the YouTube streets. And Sandra is not just on YouTube, she has other social medias as well. And I want to take us now, if we could pivot, we'll come back to some of those fun questions. And if y'all have questions for Sandra James, go ahead and drop those in the chat now, and I'll pop them up on the screen. But I want us to take a little moment, and I want to talk about one of the organizations that you represent so well, and that is the UOAA. I'll pop it up big here for a second, and then we'll go over and the United Ostomy Associations of America. Would you tell us about this? How you are advocating not just for men's mental health through your work as a social worker, your advocacy work on uh, for your 9 to 5, but how you are also as a cancer thriver, how you are continuing to share your story.
So the Ostomy Associations of America, I just recently connected with them. I did not know that they exist. So I connected in 2025. But this organization has been supporting ostomates all over the world for the past 20 plus years. And they make it possible for us to travel without issues. So they provide us with the travel cards that let TSA know that we have ostomies, so that when we go through that checkpoint, um, they'll just let us go through, opposed to, saying, can you take that purse off, kind of thing. And, help us to get access to the restrooms faster. They have resources, and I'm still getting to know them. I'm just getting into the relationship with them. And they have asked me to share some content with them that they can share, to push me further out into the communities that they're connected to. But they are absolutely concerned and have extreme care for people who have ostomies and urostomies and ileostomies as well.
And Sandra is being very modest, friends. They have devoted their whole quarterly issue through their website. This is the United Ostomies of America, United Ostomy Associations of America. They're a conglomerate of organizations all coming together to support those and their families who are dealing with this, with support groups, with research, with Sandra also does work in the community to ensure that folks with limited insurance or no insurance have the ostomy supplies that they need to live a healthy life, and that would not be a burden for them to have essential supplies for their ostomy care. Again, that's who Sandra James is outside of YouTube. And that's the Sandra James I want you to know. So y'all, again, use the link that's pinned to the comments. And I'm specifically talking about on the horizontal stream. That's when you're going to have the clickable URL links. So if you're on the vertical stream, pop right on over to the horizontal stream, so that one, you can drop your channel link and be able to connect with other ostomates of Sandra's. And I think I had that term correctly, ostomates.
You too.
And
Absolutely.
Sandra, through the UOAA, they have an extended article about Sandra's colorectal cancer journey, from surgery to with chemo and radiation, and all the way through being cancer free. and
Mhm.
she is now thriving. And y'all, what you don't know though, I put just a little bit of it on the screen. Let me pop it up real large for you there. But what you don't know is that she wrote this herself. She is a prolific and gifted writer. And friends, when you get to her YouTube channel, make sure that you click on her links because she has an ebook there where she is beginning to chronicle her story in her own words. So, y'all, I want you to make sure that you push traffic to the UOAA because Sandra is one of their spokespeople now, and they became known to her, and she attended their UOAA conference. And as you can see there in the photo, y'all, she was the belle of the ball. Clearly, she was turning heads at this UOAA conference. Sandra, if you would please tell us more about the UOAA conference, and if someone is interested in attending that conference, give us a little bit of information, if you would.
Oh my goodness. So, if you've never attended, this is something that you don't want to miss. It's a major life-changing experience. You're going to be connected to so many people all over the world. And when you come into this conference, it's a 3-day conference, and we will be in Las Vegas at the Westgate 2027. And you're going to get education with ostomy nurses that will be there, that will actually check your stoma and make sure that your stoma is intact while you're there. There will be a host of vendors, uh, supply providers. And so you'll get a chance to see all the different types of appliances that you can try on. Just an excellent thing. You're going to learn about body image. So there's going to be surely Nate and Kim will be there to do a body image presentation. And if you go on the site, you'll be able to see the one from last year. And people connecting with people. And when you walk into the room, you will not know that you did not know these people. It was like your next door neighbor, your best friend, the person that you spent most of your life with. That's what you're going to feel when you come in contact with other ostomates. It's a beautiful experience, and the UOAA have spent their life providing these experiences for us for over 20 plus years. And it's just a beautiful experience, and I do it no justice when I'm sharing what it's about. It's something you absolutely have to connect with. And absolutely hope that you will, because as long as I'm breathing, I will be going back and going back and going back. And I hope to meet you there.
And wow, I'm familiar with the Westgate, so that means that they're not skimping on that.
Mm-mm.
That will be a really good conference. And what month will the conference occur next year?
We haven't got our date yet.
Oh, okay.
We
Okay.
haven't got the date yet, but it's coming soon.
Okay. Well, I was also checking out the UOAA website just in preparation for this interview with our sister friend, Sandra James. And looks like they've got a cruise coming up from sponsored by UOAA. And so y'all check that out. The link is at the top of the description box. And y'all, when you get over there to UOAA, make sure that you leave a comment and let them know that it is Sandra James, the reason why you were able to get connected with that organization. And thank you for being an advocate for other ostomates. And thank you for teaching me that term, Sandra. All of us, we are learning from
Yes.
you. And I know one thing that I'm learning is more compassion for others. And you just never know what someone has survived. And we all need to lean in to how you just support, just lead with kindness, and that's certainly what you have done. And I'm just so happy to and proud to know you. And I the content that you put out, I don't know who I am absorbing it for. Um, but I realize now that I probably worked with one of my former supervisors, probably had an ostomy of some kind, and
Mhm.
because of all of the information and the transparency in which you speak about how you live and survive. I mean, like literally, you talk about essentials that you keep in your bag and in your emergency bag, just to make sure that you talk about just being prepared and things that someone who might just be getting familiar with the process and learning things, and so that you don't have to be stuck at home, so that you can go on and continue to work and thrive and have, you know, family outings and with your friends and family. You talk about all of those things with such transparency. And you know, one of my favorite things is to have coffee. That's why this program is called Coffee and Conversations. But you now drink decaffeinated coffee. You want to share anything about that?
Well, yeah, sure. So I was drinking decaffeinated coffee, and yesterday I had a cup, but that was the first cup I had in about 4 weeks. But the reason why I don't drink caffeine coffee is because anybody knows that drink coffee know that you're going to go to the bathroom if you drink coffee, right? And a lot of people drink it sometimes just to get their bowels moving. Well, in my case, if I drink some coffee with some caffeine in it, I'm going to go to the bathroom, not tomorrow, but in the next 15 minutes. So it accelerates the output. So it accelerates my output, and it can also dehydrate me. So
Mhm.
because it's moving, all the fluid. I don't have the sigmoid colon, which is our reservoir, that absorbs the water and then converts it to poop, right? So I don't have that system anymore. So everything is just going straight through. So caffeine is an absolute no-no for me. And if anybody that is an ostomate, and you do like to drink coffee, I suggest, and I'm not a medical professional, but I suggest decaffeinated coffee, because you don't want to be drinking caffeine and going in 15 minutes after you had it. So that's why I don't drink caffeine. But I had coffee decaf yesterday because I always drink coffee for taste, and I wanted to taste coffee yesterday.
I know
So
that's right. I know that's right.
yes, yes,
Um,
yes, yes.
you just you are so transparent, and I know that that is helping so many, and especially even family members who are supporting someone with an ostomy. Your conversations and you offering to take questions on your channel, and you do several live streams. When
Mhm.
do you have any live streams coming up on your channel, Sandra?
I do every Friday. You're either going to see it in the community post, and it's going to be scheduled for 8:30 on Friday mornings, or either 10:30 on Friday mornings, depending on my work schedule. And then the Wednesday midweek that I was doing, I moved over to Saturday. And we're not doing it today because we're doing this wonderful blessing today. And then I have my weekly Mondays and Thursday long form videos nonstop at 8:30 a.m. PST, Mondays and Thursdays. So
Okay.
you can always find me uh, in the YouTube streets, as we say.
Yes, we can. And thank you for sharing that. So, y'all make sure that you go ahead and hit the subscribe button for Sandra James Living It. It gets Candy K's coveted 10 out of 10. I highly recommend. And that is why I subscribed. And friends,
Yes.
Jackie McKeever has said it best. Sandra James, y'all, she is taking the stink out of talking about digestive health. So she actually loves the poop emojis. So y'all drop some of those poop emojis so that I can put them up on the chat. Look at her. She's already smiling. That's who and what she is. And she is just a light. She is a light. And she's taking the stigma and the stink out of talking about digestive health and your digestive health. And that's why it's important for us to get our colonoscopies. I am 50. And at my annual visit last month, my doctor certainly asked me about a colonoscopy and if I had ever had a colonoscopy and if there were any irregularities found and if they found any polyps. And those are the types of questions. Do you want to share anything about that?
Well, I'm going to say this off the top. Never let anyone tell you that you're too young to have a colonoscopy. And if you are experiencing any types of stomach cramps that just won't go away, that's a check-in note. If you're, whether you have hemorrhoids or not, if you have some spotting or bleeding when you wipe, check in with your doctor. And, you have to advocate for yourself just in case you don't have an advocate with you that you want a colonoscopy. No matter the age, there are a lot of young people right now today that are under 50 who are being diagnosed with colorectal cancer. So again, I'm not a medical professional, but I'm looking around. I'm in the streets. And so get checked. Do not be afraid to get checked. You really need to do those screenings. And I know it's scary, but you're not alone. And it's absolutely necessary. And it's going to be life-saving, if you get the screening, opposed to, being afraid to do it and then finding out later that it's too late. So I urge you to do that.
Yes. And wasn't it just Ostomy Awareness Month, or is that coming up?
It still is.
March
is colorectal cancer and colon cancer awareness month.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sandra James. Thank you for being here with us. And so we know that we can clearly see that Sandra James is not just living it. She is a colorectal cancer survivor. And in fact, she is thriving at this moment and cancer free. So there is life after colorectal cancer. And you can not just live, friends, but you can thrive. And someone else that many of us are aware of is Coach Deion Sanders, coach of the University of Colorado D1 football team, was diagnosed with a very aggressive high-risk bladder cancer, also under the ostomy umbrella. He has had a very thorough surgery in late 2025 and has now been deemed cancer-free. But he is living with an ostomy as well. And you said when it deals with urine versus the solid outputs, what do they call that? I'm just making sure.
Urostomy.
A urostomy.
And yes. I'm absolutely unfamiliar with the urostomy, but it is under the ostomy umbrella. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And we want to thank G2 Country Girl for her transparency. She is a YouTuber that many of us know. And so thank you for your transparency, sister friend. Y'all make sure that you connect with G2 Country Girl. And y'all, we've got so many who are watching this stream right now. And those who were catching on the replay, don't forget to hit the like button. And thank you all for joining us here today. Sandra, what do you do when you're not in these YouTube streets, when you're not being a mom and a wife, what do you do for fun? What do you do? You just had a birthday, and I know you attended a birthday party. You and your son both had birthdays here
Yes.
recently. What do you do um, just for play?
I'm somewhere dancing to some salsa music, singing in Spanish. Can't speak a lick of Spanish, but I can sing some Celia Cruz songs, and I'm salsa. I'm doing salsa and having a cocktail. That's what I'm doing.
Cocktail, cocktail. Yeah. So there you have it,
Yeah.
friends.
Yes, that's what
Not
I'm
just
doing.
living after ostomy surgery and surviving cancer, but focusing on thriving. God
Mhm.
wants us to live and thrive. And you are doing just that, y'all. She is working on, she has an ebook out already, chronicling her journey. You can go to her YouTube channel page and get all of that. So I hope you've connected by now, but in case you haven't, I'm trying a 10 out of 10. I highly recommend, y'all. She's also one of the spokespersons for the UOA, the United Ostomy Associations of America. Y'all, she, friends, that when you read the article, and then when you stop and think, y'all, she wrote the article. Sandra James wrote
Yeah.
the article. So you are hearing that in her own voice. It's just, she's an amazing human. She is an amazing human. So now you see even more clearly why I wanted and asked for this interview with our very own Sandra James, living it. And I want to mention too that if you do need ostomy supplies, Sandra, of course, as you can see, I have been binge watching Sandra's content, and Sandra even has a link so that you can get some discounts and you're able to connect, and even can ask some companies for samples if you need ostomy supplies. You want to share a little bit about that? I want to make sure those who are in need of resources,
Mhm.
Sandra is able to share so much.
So, when you get your ostomy, and you're in just say you're in the hospital, they may have a specific product that they encourage you to use, but there's places like Coloplast, and Coloplast is the product that I use and absolutely love. There's Convatec, and there are several others. Some links I do not have, but I will have in the next 45 minutes, so that you can reach out to them for samples. But also, um, there is an organization, Connecting Pieces, that I write stories for, and I will now. I've been given the freedom to share their link. They were in the process of updating their logo, so I will also share that link. And people, they provide ostomy supplies, predominantly flanges and wafers, to people all over the world who struggle with insurance. And so I'm connected to them, and I will put a link into my channel so that you can reach out for them to them, so that you can get, maybe you don't have insurance, and you'll be able to reach out to them, and they will help you to get what you need. And Revelostomy is already there on my channel.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And so Revel is where you can get the
Deodorizing lubricant. Mhm.
deodorant, what Sandra said.
Deodorizing lubricant. Mhm.
Yes, yes. So again, her, y'all check out her channel because she just has a wealth of resources, and you might as well check it out now because folks are. It does not have to be a death sentence, and folks are living and surviving colorectal cancers, and they are just like Sandra, you can thrive. You can thrive. But it's all about the spiritual, it's all about the mindset. I love your content that you're putting out for women of a particular age, and for that matter, for humans of a particular age. And y'all,
Mhm.
I'm 50, and Sandra is on her 64th chapter of life. She
Yes,
just
ma'am.
celebrated a birthday at the top of this month.
Yes.
And so we had some birthday greetings coming through. I hope have you been able to see some of these comments? There's so many. I'm trying to go through now. Folks wishing you happy
I,
birthday. Crappa has dropped in here on us. Lots of folks dropping poop emojis because Sandra likes them. Again, making normalizing. This
mhm.
is a part everyone needs good digestive health. Even me, as I am on my Zepbound weight loss journey, I am learning the importance of being very intentional about my fiber use, and using whole foods to push fiber, and then using medical supports to push fiber into my diet and make sure that I keep everything flowing through my digestive system. It's y'all, it's natural. Babies come into the world, and that's the first sign that everything is okay when we see their inputs and outputs, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Y'all, we're getting ready to come down from this place, but y'all, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. Y'all, it's Miss Sandra James, and she is living it, and not just living it, she is thriving. Y'all, she is a small business owner. Check out her Grace and Glow candles. And thank you for gifting me a gift set, beautiful gift set. And I hope that you all can see it there. And y'all,
Mhm.
I featured it in videos because it was just so well done. Everything so well appointed. In my home, white peach is the candle that is on my candle warmer at this moment, courtesy of Sandra James Living It. Y'all, here are some of her other candle offerings. Courage, it's a saffron cedarwood candle. Strength, it's a bergamot candle with notes of lemon, tangerine, sweet anise, forest, and pine trees.
Mhm.
Resilience. And then Sandra's favorite is the freedom candle with notes of plum, citrus, amber, jasmine, amorous, and dark musk. Sandra says it is deep, smooth, and sensual.
Right.
Y'all, everything from this, the card insert that was part of the gift set that she gifted me. But that's not why I brought her here. I wanted her to come here so that we can push traffic to her channel and her advocacy. Y'all, she is a social worker at this moment, supporting men on their mental health journeys and advocating for them through. She is a gifted writer, a technical writer in her social work. And then, y'all, she's also chronicling her own story as a colorectal cancer survivor. Y'all, please, y'all, put your warmest wishes in the chat, and let's send off this great human, Sandra James, living it. Out with Keys says that Sandra is amazing. Yes, she is. Yes,
Thank
she is.
thank you.
And more poop is still coming in because we are normalizing this digestive behavior,
Mhm.
normalizing it. We want to thank Crappa for coming through. So many have flowed through this stream. Thank you all for being here. We even got some new members and memberships. G2 Country Girl, thank you for your continued membership on the channel. We want to thank Miss Poetic Tears for being a member for 4 months. Look at all of these folks who are just blessing us because of yours is a very courageous story, Sandra.
Thank you.
This is a courageous story. Tell us, what are you getting into over the next couple of months as the weather gets warmer? I know you're in California, but
Yes.
what do you have coming up as we move out of quarter 1 and go into quarter 2? What's coming up for you on your channel, with your work, with your advocacy? Anything you want to share?
Well, sure. I'm going to continue, providing videos for new ostomates and having those live sessions so that we can have conversations around all these different life challenges and successes that we have. But I am in the process, as of yesterday, of creating a journal, and it's the Living It Resilience Journal. So it's going to be a journal for everyone, not just ostomates, but for every single living being on the earth would be able to get a benefit from this journal. So I don't know how long it's going to take. Sometimes it take a month. Sometimes it could take 2 weeks for me to do something, but we'll see. But it's definitely coming, and it will be in ebook form.
Well, my goodness, is there anything that you are not tackling now? You're a survivor and you're a thriver. You simply are. I can't wait to hear and get updates on the things that you're planning next. And thank you for the this awesome interview. Y'all, thank you all for being here. This is Sandra James, and she is living and thriving. Thank you for being my special guest for Coffee and Conversations. Thank you, friend.
Hey, hear what I say. Let me tell you about candy cane. Hey, hear what I say. Let me tell you about candy cane. Everybody, let me in near so I can tell y'all about this here. It ain't called Candy K all day. She's locked in and she's gonna win. She likes to get in the kitchen and do her thing and go shopping, showing us the things she brings. Candy K is a walker and she's a talker. She talks about hot topics. She has a good spirit. Nobody can stop it. So stop by this way and vibe with Candy K all day. That's what I say. Candy